doesn't love a serving of one of our most delicious seafood delicacies, the mud crab? Whether it's curry, michi, or simply boiled, it's been long on the menu for most families here. But you and I will both agree that catching crabs in the wild isn't as easy as throwing a bait and hooking fish. Nor does it come cheap either. A string of crabs can cost you an arm and a leg. So what if you could actually farm your own crabs? That's what aquaculture is all about. Mud crab aquaculture is the practice of farming crabs in huge ponds like this or through cage pen culture in mangroves like this. In fact, it has been practiced for many years in Southeast Asia, where in countries like the Philippines, it's a major export commodity. So what's stopping Fiji from tapping into this potential? Wilco Librats, the man behind the Crab Company Fiji, realized this some years ago.
The government of Kosrae in Micronesia asked me if I could identify a mud crab farming specialist. And I thought, well, if Kosrae can do that, in Fiji we have airlines coming in so many more and flying to so many more places. We have so many more mangroves. And I thought, if we can do this in Kosrae, then we can do this in Fiji much better.
And since then, he hasn't looked back. How can he, when the business rakes in good money and is one of its kind? Due to the technical nature of aquaculture, it can be a risky business. But that's why you have the experts to lead the charge. Totong Gano is a Filipino who has 15 years of experience in crab farming. He is the farm manager and is in charge of nurturing the crablets from the hatchery. The Crab Company is currently working on an outgrower program to establish a year-round supply of high-quality crab, offering income-generating opportunities in coastal villages, particularly for women. So we hopped onto a boat to find out just what these opportunities are. It's called cage pan culture, where nets like these are placed around the mangroves to keep the crabs within their natural habitat. Inside these pans are around 1,200 crabs, which are fed twice a day and harvested every 6 months.
We are testing these ones out. They've been done in other countries in Asia. So for us, this is the first trial that we have. We have 3 hectares of each of 2,500 meters. And as you'll see, even with the normal fishing grounds, this area is still open for the fishermen from the nearby villages. And this we have closed out. We've discussed it with them as a trial and a test as well on how feasible the mangrove pens are.
So what are the chances of crabs surviving here than in the ponds?
The ponds is high intensity production, easily accessible, easily drained, easier to manage, but ponds are of course a lot more expensive to set up and to maintain. This is natural. This is the only cost basically here is the net and the fence to put around the mangroves.
The idea behind this cluster concept is to get villagers to farm mud crabs along the mangroves and supply it to the Crab Company.
If this is to become an export industry, we will be working with communities, and that's been the idea from even before we even started business. In these communities where mangroves are, and of course where mangroves are, there's very limited. There won't be any tourism development, low-lying areas, a lot of root crops you can't grow there. So this will provide a significant means, we expect, for generating income, especially for women.
In any given week, the Crab Company can sell about 150 to 200 kilos of crabs, but in a few months, this will increase to around 350 to 400 kg as the company embarks on further expansion plans.
You don't have to import anything. We feed it waste fish that we get from the fish processors. we can buy some additional pelletized feeds as well that are produced here. Maybe we have to bring a little bit in from overseas. Yeah. The nets, yes, they have to come from overseas, but for the rest, what else do we need from overseas? It's a crab that we have. The world will want it. Yeah. The world demands seafood. Crabs are very highly prized. And it is there. It is. We're now in the process of developing an export market, and I think that's at the moment the key thing.
Which is why there's no secret to the potential for growth in the aquaculture business.
I see definitely a lot of potential for growth in crab and other aquaculture commodities, especially on the community angle, like we talked about clusters, whereby you've got groups of farmers within communities, and we can see that the company can, once they've reached a certain capacity, they can go and train out people and do extension services and other things, and this whole industry can grow within Fiji and into other countries as well.
I see this as a good business model to replicate. I see this as a business model to benefit the villagers. So great going.
Without MDF and without IACT, it would have been very difficult. Their support has been substantial.
With the endless opportunities on offer, the Crab Company knows too well that with a little ingenuity, the sky's the limit.
First to get actually all the ponds under production, get them all stocked up, then expand maybe a few more hatchery pens, get the hatchery running, of course, yeah, but that can all go simultaneously. And probably by the end of the year, we start looking, or in the second half of the year, we start looking at working with communities. Several communities have already indicated and confirmed their keenness in working with us and setting it up. So we'll start working with them to set up the first mangrove pens. And yeah, of course, but by that time we should have developed an initial export market by then that can take the product. Yeah, or at least, and of course increase domestic consumption quite a bit. Everyone's happy about our crabs.